Hi guys, Chad Krause here from Wartime CEO. I want to talk about one of the core concepts to architecting a successful company, a core concept in how to a sort of an arbitrage and cool way to fund a business acquisition. Something that if you are a master of this and of designing your company to optimize this, is a world of opportunity for tons of cool things that you can do, and you can help other businesses that you like to be able to master this business and cash concept, right? So at its most basic level, it's the cash conversion cycle. So in this example, bear with me, okay? Let your eyes adjust. I know it's numbers in Excel. We're going to take this scenario, okay? So it's a startup scenario. I buy a $10,000 widget. I get 30 days to pay off my supplier for that widget. And it's going to take me 60 days. You know, my sales cycle is 60 days. Hint, hint, that's one of the levers that you can address to be able to sell that inventory. Okay. And I sell it for $20,000. And I sell it with 30-day payment terms. Okay. So how that actually plays out is you buy it, you get the inventory, they're next door. I don't know. It hits our financials as account payable. There's no cash out. The cash comes out 30 days later. I have to pay it off, but I still haven't sold it. Okay. So there it is, -10. Right. Then, oh, great. We sold it and here it is. And then, 5,000 of other expenses. I don't know. You paid for the warehouse, commissions, and anything. Right. And then there's my net income. It's a healthy margin, 25%, could be worse. And that's great, except, oh, wait, these other expenses I don't have terms on. That's another $5,000 your cash out. All right. So now your cash impact is -15 before you see any profitability, any income, right? Day 90, you finally have collected on your accounts receivable. And hopefully you have a process for that, because if you don't, you're just trusting that your customer is going to pay you out of the kindness of their heart. You got a 30% chance of that, So then after 90 days, we finally see $5,000 of positive cash flow. And how did you pay for it? Either you have the cash, or more likely you borrowed to pay it. And so you would also want to include that to get more technical. Okay. So this is the flow of money, and this is how it technically works. Okay. So now we're going to have a larger example. That example, it's the same sort of deal, right? All of the same terms so far. We sell, it's quarterly. Okay. So we start off with 2 units of inventory, and let's say we bought it today, right? And we have accounts payable, and over time we are selling one unit a month, and most of the other economics are the same at this point. Okay. Well, that's great. And also, I guess a little bit different. We're saying that the net profit margin is 10% here. Okay. That's great. And ultimately, at the end of the year, our net income is going to be $24,000 positive. EBITDA is going to be positive. This is the shortcoming of EBITDA, which is supposed to proxy cash flow, right? But really, at the end, we're down $6,000. What the heck, right? From where we started. Well, that's the cash conversion cycle not working in your favor. That's what that just comes down to. So Instead, let's make it work for you. Some other key concepts to know, right? Just like that first example where you see, hey, it's got this upfront negative impact, and then long term it'll ultimately translate to a positive impact. That idea happens when you're scaling. And so this 13-week cash flow is also for hyper growth companies. And that's again our cash flow management, our liquidity management tool. And we're going to say, okay, we're going to increase a lot every month, right? Well, crud, our cash flow is negative, right? So that's one of the biggest challenges to scaling is just managing your cash as you're doing it. Great, your net income's positive. But to get there, you had to load up on inventory, and you have all these other cash outlays, and it'll correct itself over time, but it's a huge limitation to growth. What are some other things that we can do instead? So instead, and I'm going to just put this back at a normal level so that we can see it more easily, okay? Instead, we can play with this. So days inventory on hand. An example of that, the most optimal strategy is like insurance. Insurance is pay now, deliver later, pay out the claim later, right? That's like the epitome of it. So you could see that, right? Dell is just in time. So just in time is really the goal here. So you carry no inventory, you only buy it, or maybe you even drop ship it to your customer, right? Or it's, cash payment if you're a service fee for service company, right? Or a healthcare clinic, doctor. And and you can make it either net neutral or even positive in the case of insurance, which is even better. So theoretically, you can make money that way. That's how, some of these guys do it. So now if we have zero, scale's not really impacted too significantly by it. Do you see that? And I'll just make this 0 too. So that's one of the advantages to having a net neutral cash conversion cycle. Okay. So there's lots of ways to manipulate this. And we go into it in our workshops, in our coaching, and of course, if we partner, there's so many techniques. One of them is 210 net 30. Okay, so let's say you can't get away from holding inventory, and you have, call it 60 days of inventory on hand. In this case, that would mean that, well, if we were flat, it would be, if we were selling 1 unit a month, you would have 2 units on hand. That's what that means. But what you can do is you can implement 210 net 30. So 2% discount for payment in 10 days, or you pay the whole amount in 30. So let's say everyone, which it's not going to happen, but let's just say everyone accepts that. And most big companies will accept that. You just seriously altered that cash conversion cycle in a positive way. And that's a huge deal. So again, we're at negative 50, 36 to call it negative 1,000. Whereas before, negative 54,000. Huge deal if you're scaling. And of course, there's negotiating better payment terms with your suppliers. There's different schools of thought. If you're not asking your suppliers, especially if you're growing, if you're not asking your suppliers for that, you're messing up. You should be. I I've heard even as often as, every 2 months, you should be asking them, hey, can I push it back 10 days and just wait for it to break? But, ask not, receive not. And so, of course, that is going to positively impact it as well. And how you can utilize this tool inside of acquisitions, which is an exciting, way to think about it. So yes, it helps you if you're in cash crunch and your company may be averagely performing. Of course, this is going to help you through that. It is even more helpful if you're scaling rapidly. And it's, again, really cool and really helpful as sort of an arbitrage if you're trying to acquire a company. Because when you are acquiring a company, you are going to, part of the function of that is that you buy it with normal operating working capital. And so in this case, let's just put it back at flat. Normal operating working capital would be 30 grand. Okay. And that's what you would just, that should come with the business, because that's cash that's tied up. And so it shouldn't go with the seller. Right. And so if your seller tries to take out their entire inventory, it didn't go this last time, by the way, because I do it based on forecasted sales of units, not on historical. That's why your forecast is important, because you want to manage to that. But so let's say that they just bleed it dry of inventory. Okay. Well, you can actually say, hey, I need $20,000 more, right? Like we're going to take a $20,000 discount on the purchase price, or you're going to even supplement the cash. That's one adjustment you can make. Or if really it's 60, but you know that you can make it 30, then you just made $10,000 to help you fund the deal. It's not nothing. It's a big deal. So not only is it critical in crunch, crisis, war times, but even when you go, I think of like wartime, like on the offensive, it is a super important thing. And knowing the levers and, again, how to architect a business to optimize this is going to give you so much opportunity. It's going to help you in scaling. It's going to help you in M&A, and it's going to help you in crisis. If you like this, subscribe, join our newsletter, our workshops. We're going to have a lot of stuff like this. Make wartime CEOs out of y'all.